Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. We're going to look at a small little segment of a match between Dennis Orcollo and Shane Van Boening. And we're not really looking at the match so much as what happens with that magic rack that you see in the circle. So Shane just broke, and as you can see, there's two balls not touching, not on the little diamonds of the magic rack, but inside the magic rack. And when the referee goes to move it, both Shane and Dennis say, hey, don't touch that thing. Dennis actually says out loud, you can't do that. So referee backs off, and now Shane is going to go about his business shooting. I'm going to speed this up 400% as we watch Shane work through this rack. But notice each shot Shane takes, he's looking to break up that cluster. Because if he breaks up the cluster on the magic rack, it's no big deal. So he plays this one ball and goes all the way around the table off of 3 rails to get down here for the 2, takes another swat at it. And now he was trying to get on that 3, believe it or not, so that he could get to that rack. He's going to go off of 3 rails again and try to hit that, that magic rack area, and you can see he misses it there. And now Shane looks at it again and says, well, maybe I do want this move because I'm going to play a safety at this point. So he's staring at it, Do I shoot it? Do I leave it there on the table? Do I have the referee come and take a look at it? And eventually he calls the referee over. Dennis gets worked up because he knows that he's at an advantage right now with those balls clustered up like that. And he doesn't want it to be disturbed. So the referee is saying basically, I tried it before, it didn't work, and I need to leave it there. You go ahead and shoot. And Shane is saying, no, that's not going to happen. So Shane is like, forget you. I'll just elevate this to a higher authority. So Shane goes and elevates it to a higher authority. And then a lady's going to come over who has smaller, more delicate hands, possibly. And she's going to take a crack at getting this magic rack from out of these 2 balls here. Now, keep in mind, the referee tried this earlier. He's got a marker. He is turning it. He's doing all kinds of things to try to get this magic rack out. And Dennis is very vocal about this. You guys can't hear it, but I could hear it. The reason you don't have the sound is because there was a lot of background noise, so you actually would have a hard time making it out. But Dennis is basically saying, don't mess with those balls. You can't mess with that rack. So the lady comes over and she's going to try to turn it and see if they can get those balls out of the magic rack. Now, I spent a long time, probably the last couple years, in many different situations defending the magic rack with people because I thought it was a very good addition to the game. The rack is consistent. You don't have to worry about players racking for each other and stacking the rack or leaving gaps or whatever. But this is one of those situations where the magic rack just creates a comedy of errors. This whole thing goes on, by the way, for about 6 to 8 minutes. And they've already elevated to the second person. Now, there's 3 people on this magic rack deal. Shane's trying to give them some direction. All you need to fix this problem is a pair of scissors and another magic rack. You're not going to tell me that in that auditorium, that's the last magic rack. And you're not going to tell me that somebody doesn't have a knife or a pair of scissors. So what you do is you cut the magic rack, you take it off, and you go about your business. But to spend 6, 7, 8 minutes of this match dealing with this magic rack and trying to turn it and trying to mark the balls is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. 5 people are involved in this thing at this point, and not one person has said, hey, if you cut it, you can just move it at will. You're not going to have a problem. It cuts very easily. It's just a thin piece of plastic. And you know what? We've got 25 tables in this building. There's other magic racks here. We'll just switch it out. So I just think it's hilarious that all of these, let's say, minds, wrapped around this magic rack, they can't fix it. So those of you who hate the magic rack or templates in general, because I know there's a lot of you out there, this is just more ammunition for you. They finally figure out a way that they're possibly going to get this thing out, but still haven't cured it yet. They're really going to have to pick the balls up at this point. If they, well, they're not going to cut it. I can already tell you they're not going to cut it. But all of this because of that piece of plastic on the table. So those of you who have seen my video about why I don't practice with the Magic Rack anymore, here's some additional ammunition for you against the Magic Rack. Now, I do want to go on record saying I think the Magic Rack is great. I did use it for a few years. I will continue to use it in many situations. I don't have a problem with it. I like it in that my break is crazy consistent with the Magic Rack. I'm almost always going to make the wing ball, but you can see what kind of problems it creates. So the Magic Rack is still on the table, and Dennis is like, okay, Shane shot the ball now, and you can get that thing off the table because his situation has changed totally. Remember, Dennis did not want those balls disturbed back when it was to his advantage. And now that his ball is on the Magic Rack, he's like, okay, now we got to move it. So I just thought this was hilarious, and I want you guys to hit me in the comments. Let me know if you like or dislike the Magic Rack, if you had a change of heart after seeing this. This match took place quite a while ago. You can tell by the fact that Shane is not even using carbon fiber yet. So it was quite a few years ago. But these same type of issues are probably going on around the world. It is a rare occurrence that the balls sit there like that, where they're in the rack, but they're not quite on the little cutout diamonds. But here, 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, and 5 different people trying to solve the problem, they get it worked out. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and please hit that subscribe button.